Alright, so hopefully we get some good footage of this. I'm going to be picking the Master 6840, attempt to get my green belts. Should probably show that it does work with the key. This hasp on this thing doesn't actually have a spring, so you have to pull it every time. I do have a vise, but I've tried picking this thing both sitting in my vise and picking by hand, and I seem, so far anyway, to have a better feel for it in the hand, so I apologize for that, but I will work on with my next couple of belts getting a little better feel for what's going on in the vise. Alright, so it's 5 pins. There's pin number 3. This one's always first on this guy. There's a slight click at it. If I remember right, that's my one serrated. There's a click on 4. Another click on 3. Or 1. Usually get a false set right here somewhere. Also have this problem with this tension wrench that there's the false set. My hook actually likes to pop my tension wrench out of the front of this thing. The spring on it's really heavy, and I think probably the first 2 or 3 times I actually think I had it open, and I didn't know it because the tension was so stout that I was putting a lot less tension on the lock with my finger than what it would take to open it. So close, it's right there. When this thing false sets, it's usually all the pins are set, but usually, like, I'll usually have a notch left on this serrated and one spool. There it is. There's some feedback right there. Give me some counter rotation. That pin. Come on. Where you at? There's a slight click. You're so close. The wrench is slipping. Somebody's binding. Where are you? Oh, right there. If this takes too long, I'll just reset and restart the video. Oops. I think I just overset number 2. I think is what just happened there. I'm still getting some counter rotation right there. It's not setting. There it went, and we got the open. So number 2 was not overset. I thought it was. Okay. So there's the pick. Let's try to get a disassembly on this guy right quick. Hey, settle. Sorry about that. I do have 2 fairly large dogs, and they hear things and like to growl and bark at them, but they're big teddy bears, I promise. That is not the right size wrench. That's the right size wrench. I'm debating, I guess, depending on how long this takes. You'll have to forgive my lack of proper equipment here for assembly and disassembly, but I'm working on that. I'll have it coming in the mail soon. There's your cylinder. Where's my screw? This screw, I was actually on Discord last night, and this screw had a center pin in it right here. It's like a little security pin to keep you from using a regular Allen wrench in it, and I think it was Sept on his advice said to jam a screwdriver in there and try to snap that pin off. That's what I ended up doing. I got to looking around though, and even like on the parts diagrams and stuff that it shows online, it does not show any of these using a any type of security pin in there, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. I actually forgot my battery for my follower, so bear with. I'm going to grab that. I need to do screwdrivers anyway for getting the snap ring off here. I don't have a snap ring remover either. This battery, I actually took the plastic off of it because it fit too tight, and I couldn't get it into the lock to follow it. So pretty much, I'm going to kind of figure out tools as I go, but very soon I will go ahead and order the actual stuff that I need. But, you know, the cost of living nowadays is not making things easy, so I ain't exactly got a whole lot to spare. There's the ring. Get our follower in here. This thing has standard key pins, and then the drivers are 1 serrated and 4 spools. Okay, there's our key pins. My fancy LPU tutorial pinning tray over here. I actually started laying out one in wood earlier. I was going to go ahead and make me a wooden one before I shot this video, and I was like, you know what, let's just get the video out of the way, and that way I don't feel rushed, because anytime I ever feel rushed on my woodworking, I tend to screw things up. I'm not really a professional carpenter anymore, although I used to be, so as much as I hate to admit, my edge is not nearly what it used to be. Oh, one of my spools fell. I'm sitting here, I pulled out 5 pins and then this spool came out. So when I pushed my follower through, that spool came out, I'm guessing in slot 5, and fell into the number 6 hole on the cylinder. Okay. That's number 1. Okay, so that would be the spool came out of the number 1 slot. There's a spool for number 2. The spring's right there. First time I took this apart, I actually got one of the springs hung up in it, and I had to actually clip about the last 2 coils off the spring and then stretch it out a little bit to make up the tension difference. But it actually worked out pretty good because the tension in that pin does not feel any different from the other ones. So I looked at, okay, pin 4 was my serrated. I was thinking it was on pin 3, it wasn't. Come on out of there. There's my spring. And honestly, I've got these stats that I've been using for pinning tweezers, and they actually work out all right, but I can tell they're a little subpar. Okay, there's my last spool and my last spring. You know, if I took my Dremel and cleared out a little notch in these things like y'all do on those pinning tweezers, they would actually be a little better. I've got several pairs of these laying around, so I can, I guess, actually afford to probably screw a pair of them up. It's one of the benefits of having another half that's a nurse. So let's go ahead and get a close-up on our pins here, and then I'll have to reset my camera angle. Try to get my shadow out of it. There you go. 5 standard key pins, 4 spools, and 1 serrated, just as I mentioned. Okay, so let's get my angle set back up here. I'm gonna have to get back up to do that. I think I can at least get it close like this. I don't really have much of a tripod for my camera. I think that's pretty close, actually. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. And we'll go ahead and do a reassembly since I do have to do that for this belt. Like I said, bear with me on these tools because it does take me a minute to reassemble. So, you know, if you guys need to speed read or however you want to look at it, you know, fast forward through some of this, I will completely understand. I guess we'll start with the cylinder. Do pin 1. This is what I don't like about this cardboard, is that it makes it a bit of a pain in my arse to get a hold of this stuff. That and these springs are my stats. I'm honestly not sure which. But somehow it ended up magnetized. I'm guessing that my springs have, and I'm not really sure how that happened. Okay, there's number one. I think it'd probably be easiest just to kind of set that in there, and then I can take this. There we go. Just kind of press it down a little bit to. No, it's not going to sit in there straight anyhow, so I guess I'll get the followers started. Keep this on camera here. There it goes. It's caught. There it went. Okay, I got it. Now I got to work from this end, which honestly really sucks because it's so far off in there that I can't really see the hole super well. I do actually kind of really like the slight downward sweep on these stats, though. It does work out for me. I guess it would probably be the fastest way to do this, to go ahead and put all my springs in, and then just drop my drivers and put the push the follower forward as I do it. Damn it. I guess, I don't know if it's good or bad to have these magnetized, because it does at least keep me from dropping the springs on the floor. Went right in. Number 3. I guess the one thing that I do have going for me on this is, despite the fact that I'm 40, I do actually have very, very good vision. I don't wear glasses or contacts, and depending on the lighting, when I take vision tests regularly, you know, for my medical card and stuff like that, because I do have a CDL driver's license, and I can either read the second to bottom line on the eye chart or the bottom line, depending on how good the lighting is where I'm doing it. So whatever, I'm not an eye doctor, but whatever value that is, I think they last time I did it, they told me I was 20/10. Sounds right anyway. This follower is actually really tight in here, so kind of have to muscle it. Which is on my project to-do list, is what I'll probably do, is just make me some followers out of dowel rods, because I'm already set up out there in my shop to do wooden arrows, and I don't figure a follower is going to be much different. Get in there. So I am actually an avid archer, hunter, outdoorsman, that type too. So I build my own bows and my own arrows, that type of thing. Okay, that's that. Now we need key pins. Starting from this end here. There's 1, 2, 3. Get in there, number 4. Saddle. If he barks, maybe a headphone alert, just a forewarning. I don't know that he will, but I would not put it past him. Okay, now the first time I did this, I actually did this backwards, and it really sucked because I had a very hard time getting this back apart. Because once I got it in there, being as the key was in it, and the key pins weren't lining up with the holes. Oh, I think we just hung. I'm gonna have, damn it. Yeah, we just hung. And I lost key pins. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this here, and I'm gonna do another video on reassembly because everything just fell apart, and I'm gonna have to figure out which key pins go where. So we'll try that another time.